Okay, now, yesterday was funny. Um, I went to make my threshold. I made my cuts. I should have came up 3/8 of an inch, and I brought that blade up 2 inches and cut everything off and just cleaned it smooth. Ah, so I'm going to show you how to make one from beginning. All right, I've cut this to 2 inches. I've just browned it over the edge so that when I cut most of this out, it'll get that nice little round over right here at the top. And then if I need to modify it and sand a little more, I will. But we're going to take the one I messed up on. I'm going to show you how I save that, where I'll be able to reuse it. And this is oak, solid oak. And it was just some scrap I had from doing some staircases. And so with no further ado, let's go over here to where I'm working, doing my cutting, and I'll show you the next phase of what's going on. So stay tuned and watch it all the way through, and I think you might learn something this time.
Hi, Roopster.
Hey, Roopster! If you saw my
Ruben.
video from yesterday, it was terrible. I totally had a brain fart, man, or brain dead. So, all right, now, let me see this real quick. All right, let me get this turned around for the moment. Here we go. Whenever I see my smiling self, I have to smile myself. All right, now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to show you. I've got this transition threshold. That's how I got this set up, all right? Thank you for being here. Hey, Roopster, good to see you. We got to get that chicken, bro. Orange chicken. All right, let me turn this around. All right, now, this is I'm going to turn it into this. This is the store. All right, so what I've done here, I went to center, all right, and there you go, center line. Then I came over 3/8 of an inch, all right, to my center line. Then I've gone to my 3/8 of an inch and marked this outside line. So my overall width of this piece is going to be 6/8, all right, which is going to be quite a bit wider than this is. I don't like how narrow this piece is, okay? And this is 2 inches wide, and this is like 1 3/4 inches. So I'm beefing it up a bit. Now, the other thing I've done, and there's two ways to go about it, okay?
Hi, Team Ranger.
Hey, Ranger, good to see you, bro. All right, now I'm going to take you to the saw and show you how I've set this up, okay? All right, now there's two ways of doing it, okay? I can take a measurement of this tongue that's sticking out here, all right? And then I can transfer that down here to my blade, okay, right here, to the height of my blade. Or you can take, if you have a pattern, all right, you just take this, put this here on the side, and then put it over, and if you look underneath, you'll see that the blade, the center of that blade, is right here. Let me get the angle up close and personal. All right, you can see it just barely touches the top, and that's what so that's how we're going to do this now. If you notice, I have these lines on here. All right, that's my outside line. This is the outside line here where that cut is, and so that's what I'm going to do now. All right. So the blade is set to the right depth. Now I'm going to take this now so that I can see it on the blade, and I line it up with the blade. I'm going to bring this mark here down on the face of this here, and the same thing right here, but since this is cut, I know where this is going to be. All right, so on that note, all right, or I can do this. Well, I can take my measuring tape, come over to the fence, bring it over to 3/8. Okay? But because I have this cut, and that cut's right there where I want to be, I'm going to use that for my gauge. And so to do that, I'm going to have to swing this around, bring it here to the fence, line it up with the blade. When I get it lined up, everything's in line. Okay, now I'm going to lock this in place. Now, as I cut this groove, you want to push it up against the fence and then press down firmly, all right, throughout the whole entire cut. So, 1 second, I have to get my, just bear with me, just hold still there. All right. Now, bear with me here. We're going to do this one, and then we're going to do the next one from start to finish, freestyle, we'll call it. All right? I won't have any pattern to go by on my next one. Okay? So I'll show you how I'm going to set that up. Remember, on the fence and slight pressure down.
And always be careful.
Always be careful. Use a push stick.
Hi, Pam's Corner.
Hey, Pam's Corner, been a long time. Glad to see ya. Hope all is well. All right, this is where I blew it yesterday. I raised my blade up 2 inches and I cut everything clean off perfectly. All right, I'm just going to cut up to this outer edge right here so that this is the only piece that's left is the center part, all right? So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this, bring this here, I'm going to shine over here. All right, now I'm going to bring up my blade, get my fence over, okay? And now I'm just going to raise my blade up so it's the top of my teeth of that blade are barely below the upper groove, all right, where the tongue, what I'm calling the tongue, the centerpiece, is going to remain, all right? So we're cutting the sides off, but you want to bring it all the way up just below the tongue, and as I'm sighting it in here, show me. As I'm sighting it in here, it looks like I'm perfectly there. All right, let me show you on the side angle. All right, I'm right there at the top of the groove. All right, I'm trying to clear that up. There it is. I'm right below the top of that groove. So here we go. Now, the next thing I got to do is I got to bring it over just to the inside at this point. Let me show you with the pencil. I got to see right here. I'm going to bring the blade right to this point right here. The only thing that cuts off is this little piece, all right, where that groove stops, right there. So this little section comes off. All right. So let's bring the fence over. All right. So that I got to sight this in so I'm right exactly where I need to be so I don't cut too much off. All right. And that looks like that's going to do the trick. Right there. All right. As I'm sighting that in, that looks just about perfect. With one eye, that is. All right, make sure that your fence is locked in place real well. Here we go. We're going to cut a little bit and pull it back and test it to see if we're right where we need to be, and we should be. All right, we should be dead on. Okay, as you see, I'm right there. Right here where I want to be, right there. Okay? So we shall be good. It looks like it's just maybe a tad. Let's see here. I think we're going to be okay. All right, here we go. Okay, moment of truth. There we are, folks. There we are, moment of truth. Now, for the other side. All right, and this is what we were left with. Okay. That little sliver. All right, here we go. You got to be careful when doing this. Very careful. Yeah, you can lose fingers very easily. That's why I say you always got to be careful. All right. I don't like how that's turning back at the moment. So I'm trying to get that balanced out here. All right. So we're going to turn it on like before. We're going to pull it away from the blade, turn it on, start the cut, pull it out, and test and take a look at it. Okay. All right, it didn't quite, it was up a little high. All right, so I'm going to have to run that back through at this point. All right. And there, see, it came up on me a little bit. So you want a little downward pressure, okay? And then through. And always be careful. And I'm pressing and I'm pushing up here. And remember the blade's down here. So my hand, as long as I don't slip, I'm safe to some, you know, like I say, use a push stick. Don't follow my example. Okay, there we go. Homemade oak transition. Now let's compare this to the original store-bought. And then I'll show you how to do the other one from start to finish without anything. All right. Get a little light on the subject. Okay, got to get some light on the subject. All right, now, all right, there we go. Now, we're gonna, so, here's the store-bought. Here's the cheap MDF, imitation oak, MDF, versus my custom oak, solid oak, okay? So we're good. That's beautiful. Not perfect down here, but it don't have to be, but that's good enough. That's great. All right, this is all nice and smooth. This is nice and smooth. This is where it matters, is right along here, that it's nice and smooth in here, all right? And that's where it really counts, is all in here. As you see, the store-bought is the same. Now let's look at this round over edge here. Just barely rounded over all the way through. Manufacturer. All right, mine. Now I rounded this over before I cut it. All right, I used my palm sander and I rounded over that edge. Let's look at the comparison here between the two. Look at that. Store-bought, dark one, oak, the one I made. All right, not too shabby. All right, now the one I'm going to make, all right, I've already rounded it over my edge, okay, with a palm sander on each end, which you saw finishing up at the beginning of the video. All the way through, it's rounded over, all right? Okay, and that's pretty consistent on that round over, all right? Little practice, you can do it also. All right, and the first thing I do is I take this edge, I put my sander at about a 15 degrees straight across, and I take it down all the way across. I bring it down at another 10 degrees or so until it's flat with this surface. And then I work it the same way around until it's flat with this surface. And when you're done, you get the round over. All right? Practice. Now, I want my centerpiece, what I'm calling the tongue. I'm wanting this piece here. All right? To be about 6/8 wide, about this wide. All right? And then I want it about a 1/2 inch thick. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is a 3/4 inch, 1x, all right? And there's two ways to go about this. You can take a little square and your measuring tape. Hold on one moment. And your measuring tape. And you can go this route. This is one way, all right? Some people, you know, they won't, this is how they won't do it. They won't do it any other way. Okay, there is my, right here. here's my 1/2 inch mark right there. That line going all the way through is my 1/2 inch mark. Okay, so if you notice, it's right there. Okay, so then we're just going to tighten this down. I just moved it. All right. If there's anybody here you've timed out, because I can't see you in the chat, if you make a comment, I'll be able to see you. All right, there I am at my 1/2 inch right there. All right, now hold this, pinch this in place, make sure that it's locked in. Okay, now let's check it real quick. We're right there, 1/2 inch. Now I come up on the side. Okay. All right, now this is 2 inches wide. So I'm going to come to center. The first thing I'm going to do is come to center. Here's my center right here. Now I can take my 1/2 inch. Actually, I can. Okay, take this here. Okay, and then come down. That's my center line. Okay, there's my center line. Okay, and then I can come over. All right, I'll take my measuring tape and I'll come over 3/8 and 3/8 is 6/8. All right, so that's 1/8, 2/8. Okay, so we have 1/8, 2/8. Okay, this is 3/8 right here. This is your 3/8 right there. Okay, so if I pull an inch, all right, I can show you here. There's my inch line. There's 1/8, 2/8, 3/8 right here on my line. Okay, so there we are. 3/8. Okay, same thing here. Hook over, come over. 1, 2, 3. Actually, it's here. 1, 2, 3 is here. That's 3/8. Mark here. My overall mark, I'm going to have 6/8 when I'm through. All right, so we have 3/8. Okay, or I'm sorry, 6/8 right here. 6/8. There we are. Okay, so all right, now I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to go okay, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get my 3/8. That's to the inside of the blade, right here to the outer inner edge of that blade. Okay. There we go, right there. Alright, hold on. Alright, let me double check. We're double checking here. We look like we are in like Flynn. Bam. One second. All right. Now, I have to go get some power. We need the light. All right, here we go. Okay, now, as long as the battery don't get too hot, we are going to be good. All right, now, I got to get my blade adjusted. Let me get this blade adjusted, and we will be doing good. All right. Now, with a 1/2 inch, you use this. Okay. And we are too high. So we're going to take this down to where we are right there where we need to be. Okay. All right, now we're good. Now we're going to run this through, and we will be good as gold. We will be golden. Okay, here we go. All right, let's double check this. See if we're on our mark. We're on our mark. Okay. So we are good. Here we go. Okay, now, remember you want to keep it tight to the fence and slight pressure down. Okay, now we're going to have to raise the blade so that it comes up right here to the face, outer edge of the centerpiece of the tongue, all right? And so we're gonna take this blade. Okay, now we're gonna bring this here, and it looks like that blade is just about perfect right where it is. Can't beat that with the stick. All right, now, next thing, we gotta bring this over so that it's at the same thickness so that the blade catches just where the groove stops. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do here at this point, I'm going to take this square, this mini square, all right, and I'm going to run it right here along the bottom of those grooves, right there, all right. Let me show you what I'm going to do here. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to mark this right here at the bottom, right there. Okay, let me see. So you can see exactly what's going on here. Right at the bottom of that groove. That's where I want the blade to stop, to cut. Right here to that point. Okay, right to the bottom of that groove, right across. I don't think you can see that marked that well. There you go. So it's right there at the bottom of the groove, and we'll be golden. All right, that's where I'm lining it up. Okay, right to the bottom. Now, I'm going to line up that pencil line with the saw blade to the inside of the saw. Okay. And that looks like that ought to be about right there. We should be perfect right there. Now, lock down the fence. Make sure it's locked down so we don't move on you. All right. Right now, I'm not liking that. I'm gonna. Let's see what happened in here. Okay, we're good there. Now we're straight. Gotta watch the front of your fence because sometimes it wants to push over a little more than what it should. Okay, so here we go. All right, now, there's the piece we cut off. All right, and here's the piece. Here it is. One side. All right, there's half of it. Okay, and it was cut perfectly. All right, now we'll take a look at this in just a minute. This is our scrap. All right. Now, let's look at this. Okay, here we are. Here's your threshold. Okay. We're going to zoom out in just a minute. Okay, so all right, now let's take a look at this. Okay, here we have some light. Here's the top side. Look at this. Let's look at the factory round over. Let's compare it. That's not factory. This is a factory round over. Okay. And here's my handmade round over. Okay. Up close and personal. Now I have to put a little glue here. That's a crack. Some glue and sawdust in there. All right, and this side. Consistent. Consistent. Now, here we go. Okay, here we go. Let's just do this comparison. Look at that. This is perfect. This came out much better. Look, perfect along the edges. That looks like factory to me. Right there. Nice. Not perfect, but nice. That side is like perfect. Okay, so there is your transition or threshold. Solid oak threshold made with some scrap from a staircase. Old, when I used to do staircases. What a deal. This is a drawer front I'll use for another project. All right, well, for everyone that seen my video yesterday, where I made it, it's like, I can't believe I did what I did. I mean, that was just being brain dead, you know? Too many hours in one day or something. But anyways, let's do a recap on this first one, the one I saved, okay? So let's do that real quick. Okay, this came off the one I saved. You can see that this is just some old oak I had laying around, some 1x. Okay, this is the one. Let's get rid of this MDF. All right, here's the one I saved from yesterday that I really screwed up on because it was supposed to look like this. All right, but I'll be able to use this. Okay, so here's the first one. Here's the second one, totally by scratch. Right, that's really clean and nice. This one's not totally perfect, but it is very decent. I mean, you'll never know it. But I like this. I wish both sides looked like this. I'd be really happy with it. But I'm good with this. I'm really good with this. This is nice. And look at the top, beautiful. I just saved myself some money. Okay. So here you got it, folks. Easy 2 tips and tricks where you see everything up close and personal. Look at that. Bam. Okay, now. Getting my easy chair. So if you've seen my video, if you're still here, thank you very much. You've got a lot of patience. And if you've seen my video from yesterday, I was embarrassed. And can't believe I did what I did. I cut it all off like now. And I'm sure the guys that know what they're doing are going, "You're blowing it. What are you doing?" And or they're thinking you don't know what you're doing. Um, no, that's not the case, obviously. But happens to the best of us. And so, takes, like I say, take the time to do it right. You won't go wrong. If you're overworked, take the break. And but oh well, it's all good. I have fun doing this, and I'm looking forward to installing it. And nothing like making your own. The MDF works. It's cheap. It don't last very long. Um, Oak is getting expensive nowadays. I'm glad I had this scrap left over from when I was doing staircases, custom staircases. Really enjoy doing staircases. Man, you talk about a challenge. But it improves your skills. Takes you to a whole nother level. That's for sure. And I've seen the best scratch their head and stop and think and have to figure out some of these angles and curves and make pieces and good stuff. Good stuff. Old school, that's old school learning right there. Making parts. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Again, if you're still here, you're patient. United we stand, united we make it happen. Please like, share, thumbs up. If you don't mind watching the commercial, that's a blessing to me. It's a little bit. It kind of helps, with all the time you put in. And it's all free. I'm not charging nobody nothing. I don't have a Patreon account. I don't do super chats, commercials. Sponsorships would be great. I'd love to get sponsorship from somebody. Craftsman, DeWalt, Makita, Milwaukee. Somebody. But I like doing this. As they say, you're in your zone. All right, I'm just kind of rambling. So, united we stand, united we make it happen. I appreciate everyone's support. I thank you for checking out my channel. If you're new here, I appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I look forward to answering your questions. A lot of times I just prefer to do like a messenger phone call or something. Where I can, hear what you've got to say and you give me the details, and just a lot easier that way. So, bye for now. God bless. Take care. Vote, 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 vote. Be wise with your voting. Be wise. And you can go to the voting polls. Here in California, they open up right here, close to the end of this month. They're opening up. And go to your voting polls. Call your county and find out when your voting polls open up, if you don't know. So, all right. Take care. God bless. And I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now. And never give up, because there's always a way. Always. It's a win-win-win. Tell a friend. Bye for now. God bless.